So if we're in C major again, so that's the only one that gets left out, but this is just for major keys. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. All right, so if we build this from the 4 chord, F, A, C, right? So this becomes our temporary tonicization. We move into the key of F major. This becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right? So our fifth, the C, whatever we're building it on, right? This C, C, E, G, is exactly the same as this, C, E, G. So we just call it tonic. We don't call it 5 of 4. That would be crazy. However, if it's a 7th chord, then it is, because of course F major has a key of B flat in it, right? Or it has a B flat in it. Then it becomes C, E, G, B flat. And then that becomes, so if we see this chord, this is no longer a tonic because we've got a B flat in the key. We can't have a B flat in C major, right? So this becomes 5 of 4, all right? So we call it 5 because it's in root position, 7 of 4, all right? And they're all major, right? This is a major minor chord, and 4 is a major key, right? Or it's a major chord within the key of C major, so we leave them both capital, as opposed to if it were like a 5 of 3, then it would be big 5, lowercase 3, okay? Let's see. So it's basically just like piggybacking. It's like this guy piggybacks onto the 4, right? And builds it up on top of that. So it's like a big game of Jenga, kind of, except you're building instead of taking away. Let's see. We talked about that. Major keys, cancels that if it's 5 of 4. That said, 5 of 4 minor is considered a real thing, because it doesn't match the tonic, all right? There are accidentals, etc. So you can see if we do this with a minor key instead of a major key, so we'll stay in C, but now it's going to be C minor, all right? So we've got B flat, E flat, and A flat in the key signature. We're going to stick with C, D, E, G, A, B, C. All right, so this is 1, 2, diminished, 3 is major, 4, 5, 6, 7 minor, and then 1, whoops. All right, so if we build a key on that, for example, in 14.7, you have this example in your book. Okay, so we're given this chord, So obviously this doesn't look like it belongs, right? C minor. Well, within the key of C minor. So we have a C, right? Yeah. G, and an E natural. So C, E natural, G. So that's a major 1 chord, which does not belong, right? Weird, weird, weird. And then we analyze the next chord, which is always a really good clue because it's going to tonicize generally to that chord. So we've got F, A, C, and another F. So that's going to be a 4 chord in the key of C minor, right? Minor 4, F, A flat, C. So the one thing that doesn't belong is this E flat. Now we've got to figure out what to do with it, right? Here, naturally, C should have C, E flat, G. It should be a minor chord. But instead, what we've got is, okay? So now we've got to figure this out. Now, what is C also the 5th of? All right, so we find our C, we trek along. That's a 7th, 6th, boom, 5th, right? Snowman right here. So identify your snowman. Place it. So we've got F, A, C. All right? So here we've identified our temporary key signature that's going to take over. And we know it's going to be the 5th of this temporary key signature. So now if we build up our C, starting on the 5th, because of course here we've got, it starts on the F, it's a 1 chord. If it starts on the G, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. This is the dominant, right? So if we have a C, E, and G, right? This is a C major chord. This can be an E natural. So if we're in the key of F, right here, right? The key of F has 1 flat, just B flat. So no E flat to it, all right? So if we build up our chord, that chords, that whatever this is, whatever the tonic, the new tonic is, we temporarily adopt that key signature that associates itself with whatever this is. So if, in the case of this 4 chord, it's an F. So we adopt the key of F major, or actually, in this case, we adopt the key of F minor, right? Let's see, what's the key of F minor? No, that can't be right, because that'd be an A flat. So we adopt the key of F major, F, well, A flat. Oh, okay, I get it. I know why now. Sorry. So you do adopt the key. So we're going to adopt the key of, sorry, I did this wrong, of F minor. I'm not thinking so clear tonight. So the key of F minor is the same as the key of A flat major, right? So it's got 4 flats, but bear with me. All right, so our flats are F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. All right, now, if we have an F minor scale, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F. Now, we still have an E flat in this, but that's not the only minor scale we can use, right? We could also use harmonic minor. So these are always going to apply to something in harmonic or melodic minor, right? So we raise the 7th step, which is going to give us an E natural, all right? Which then gives us an E natural for this, which gives us 5 of 4. All right? So just confirm it with a key signature. And we'll do a few more of these. Hopefully this logic works out for you guys. Let's see. So, let's see. All right, so now let's move on to, there are some voice leading rules for secondary dominants. The voice leading of secondary dominant chords is the same as for primary dominant chords. Pardon. So secondary dominant triads require that you carefully maintain recommended doublings because the third of the chord has the function of a leading tone. So you can see in this case, if you can keep the same notes, if you share anything, this one was not done well, right? You want to keep that chord structure as much as possible. Our previous one did that. So this one, oh, none of them do it. Boo. Oh, this one does, autonomization. Okay, 14.3, you can see, right? This one, it doubles the E, so it keeps that same voice leading, right? So you want to double chords, or double voices if you can. You're basically just going to treat them like a regular dominant. Let's see. So the third of the chord is the function of a leading tone. It should not be doubled. All other conventional part writing practices apply. So don't double the third of the chord, but you can double anything else. So the tonic, the fifth, whatever. Resolve the seventh chord of a 5-7 chord down 1 scale degree in the same voice. It's important to remember that all 4 factors of 5-7 are usually present. But for smoothness of voice leading, the fifth may be omitted or the root doubled. So same thing applies to these chords as everything else. So we also have to deal with secondary leading tone chords. So we have secondary dominant chords, which are going to be a 5 of something. And we have the same deal with leading tone chords. So it's going to be diminished 7 of something. Okay? So what we have here is it's basically going to function the same way. So they're going to sort of function as a dominant substitute, and it'll also function as a temporary leading tone chord. So leading tone sounding chords in a key other than the prevailing key. The primary leading tone triad in a C major chord is BDF. So if you've got a C major chord, its leading tone triad starts on B, right? BDF. But any major or minor triad in C major, so any of these, so the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, in C major will have its own leading tone. So in the case of the 2 chord in C major, it's going to be C. C becomes the new leading tone. Actually, the leading tone becomes C sharp, right? Because it always has to be a half step to be a true leading tone. So again, much like our 7th chord, much like our 7th chords, it's going to be the bass note, the root of the chord is going to be usually some sort of accidental. It's going to have to be raised up because, especially in our minor key, we're going to be basing it off of melodic and harmonic minor.